Welcome to MMA Daily, your go-to source for daily updates, breaking news, and in-depth analysis from the world of MMA. Stay tuned for the latest on fights, fighters, events, and everything you need to know about the sport that never stops. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with all the action. Starting off, Tony Ferguson responds to Khabib Nurmagomedov. Moving on, Daniel Cormier thinks the stage is set for an Ilia Topuria takeover in the UFC this year. Lastly, Paul Hughes fires back at Khabib Nurmagomedov over comments about Irish MMA. Former UFC champion Khabib Nurmagomedov has once again drawn attention on social media, this time commenting on the dominance of fighters from Dagestan in both amateur and professional MMA. In a tweet, Khabib stated, "You can say whatever you want, but if we're talking about facts, you can't compare Irish fighters with fighters from Dagestan. We dominate amateur MMA, and it's not even close. Not just compared to Irish fighters, but the whole world. I'm absolutely confident that if we were to organize a team versus team matchup, Dagestan would defeat a world team in amateur MMA. And when it comes to professional MMA, we have champions, contenders, and ranked fighters in every major league. Show me Irish fighters who are currently title contenders in the top 3 MMA promotions. At best, you might be able to name 1 or 2 fighters. The facts speak for themselves." This statement sparked a response from one of the most well-known UFC fighters, Tony Ferguson, who replied with a sharp and provocative comment, "Shut up, fathead. You're still my bitch. You fought 2-round pro-padded fights leading up to the UFC. Easy to talk when you're not competing, you eunuch. Once a coward, always a coward. Champ. Okay, maybe 2. Ferguson clearly didn't miss the opportunity to respond to Khabib, reminding him of past fights and emphasizing his personal opinion on the Dagestani fighter. The war of words between these 2 fighters is unlikely to end here, and the MMA community is eagerly awaiting the potential fallout from their feud, both inside the cage and on social media. Daniel Cormier thinks the stage is set for an Ilia Topuria takeover in the UFC this year. Ilia, 16-0 MMA, 8-0 UFC, had an unforgettable 2024 in knocking out Alexander Volkanovski to claim the featherweight title in February, before knocking out Max Holloway in his first defense in October. Although Cormier didn't view UFC 298 and UFC 308, both of which were headlined by Ilia, as the marquee selling events of the year, he said those experiences laid the foundation for Ilia to become one of the UFC's marquee stars as 2025 begins. And now what Ilia is going to do is take a lot of that shine from Volkanovski and Max, especially if Volk gets a rematch and he beats him again, into what will become a global superstar. It remains to be seen what Ilia's upcoming year looks like, and to what degree he will be able to capitalize on his current momentum. If the UFC is able to host an event in Spain with Ilia at the top of the bill, that is a moment that would seemingly resonate in a big way. Cormier said his only concern is about the type of opponents Ilia is matched up with. A rematch against Volkanovski would be a significant contest for the sport, but beyond that, the list of contenders such as Diego Lopez, Movsar Evloev, Brian Ortega, and more do not have a proven track record of moving the needle. If Ilia gets that far in his reign, Cormier said those will be the type of fights that truly test the champ's drawing power. PFL lightweight contender Paul Hughes has fired back at Khabib Nurmagomedov. Khabib Nurmagomedov made headlines earlier this week with his controversial comments about Irish MMA. While Khabib Nurmagomedov is retired as a fighter these days, he's still an active coach for his cousin, Usman Nurmagomedov. The Bellator lightweight champion is slated to meet the rising Irish star Paul Hughes later this month in Dubai. Ahead of the lightweight title bout, the PFL has marketed the event as Dagestan versus Ireland. It's an easy decision given Khabib Nurmagomedov's involvement in the event. The former UFC champion famously competed against Conor McGregor in 2018, scoring a submission win over the Irishman in the biggest fight in the history of MMA. Later this month, Nurmagomedov will again be in his cousin's corner. Meanwhile, there's a good possibility that Conor McGregor will be in Paul Hughes' corner on fight night. With that in mind, Khabib seems eager to revive his rivalry with the nation of Ireland. Earlier this week, Khabib Nurmagomedov was brutal in his assessment of the current state of Irish MMA, stating their levels below Dagestan. "Brother, Ireland doesn't have fighters, brother. Let's be honest. How many fighters do you know from Ireland? Paul Hughes and Conor. Who else? Brother, you come to Dagestan, you can understand. You know, but with Dagestan, let's be honest. Dagestan level of MMA is up here, but Ireland level, not even half of Dagestan level." Well, it hasn't taken long for Paul Hughes to respond. Earlier today on X, big news directed several posts at Khabib Nurmagomedov. The Irish striker wrote that Conor McGregor made the Russian famous. In a follow-up post, he accused Ali Abdelaziz of speaking for Nurmagomedov and mocked Usman Nurmagomedov's infamous drug test failure. Based on these comments, it's clear there's bad blood between the two sides. However, fans won't have to wait long to see Paul Hughes collide with the Nurmagomedov clan later this month. Thanks for watching MMA Daily. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more daily MMA content. See you next time.